There we go. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren. I used to be a librarian. Now I talk about books on the internet. And for today's video, I have my Life of a Showgirl TBR. Yes, you did hear that right. I have a TBR of books that I want to read in preparation for and during my Life of a Showgirl era. This is just a short little TBR. I am gonna try and read these books during release week for Life of a Showgirl, which, if you somehow don't know, that is Taylor Swift's new album that is coming out on October 3rd. So basically these are all just Hamlet retellings and then one other book and then a book about Shakespeare. It's not very inventive, and I honestly wish I had planned ahead a little bit more, because I would like to find a biography about like Elizabeth Taylor to read, since that is one of the songs on her album. So if you have any recommendations for Elizabeth Taylor biographies, let me know down in the comments. So the first book on my TBR is A Showgirl's Rules for Falling in Love by Alice Murphy. This has Life of a Showgirl type colors, and let me tell you, this is like a very heavy paperback. It's very satisfying. So what is it about? It's not over until the fat lady sings or falls in love. New York City, 1897. A new fashion for thin threatens to end the career of proudly fat vaudeville performer Evelyn Cross. When Thomas Gallier, the man behind the promising new palace of entertainment, hears Evelyn sing, he knows he's found the star of his new spectacular. But neither is prepared for the feelings they develop over rehearsals, dinner, a trip to Coney Island, and dancing at Tin Pan Alley. Much to the displeasure of Nehemiah Albin, a media mogul determined to arrange a union between Thomas and his own daughter. As opening night approaches, Evelyn and Thomas find themselves at the center of a culture war. Prudish society types convening newspapermen and corrupt cops on one side, and Evelyn's effervescent community of fat queer biopic immigrant and working class artists on the other. Framing this story, present-day narrator and historian Phoebe steps in to reveal secrets and show readers what it really means to claim self-love. Inspired by a real-life progressive era trope of plus-size dancers, or troupe of plus-size dancers, this is a story about the spirit of community and the power of romance. Alice Murphy is a pen name for a prolific Hallmark screenwriter and romance author from the Deep South. She collects secret recipes, secret admirers, and secret histories. Intriguing. So when the title for Life of a Showgirl was announced, I was really, I don't know, I was like researching or whatever, and this book came up as something that maybe has interesting similar vibes. Obviously, as Showgirl falling in love, and we think that TS12 is going to have very romance heavy themes. So this is on my TBR. And then let's get into the Shakespeare of it all. So I have, this is the Pelican Penguin Random House Hamlet. I am going to listen to the audiobook, and I think I picked out the BBC version, which is available on Spotify. I thought that James Marsters would narrate one of the Hamlet audiobooks, but he did not. He narrates Macbeth, I think. He does not narrate this one, which was just unfortunate. So we have this book. I'm going to listen and like read along, immersion read. I think that's going to be the best way for me to get the most out of this book, and I definitely want to read it kind of slowly so I can like absorb all the information. And then we have the Hamlet inspired books. These are two that I saw when I was doing my research. So we have The Dead Fathers Club by Matt Haig. I did read The Midnight Library by him, and I really enjoyed it. His books are kind of really dark, and obviously this is a book about like a dead father, so like of course it's gonna be dark, but I'm excited to read this. So it says, a ghost story with a twist, a suspenseful and poignantly funny update of Hamlet. When 11-year-old Philip Noble is confronted by the ghost of his recently deceased father and asked to avenge his death, the boy finds himself in a thorny dilemma. Revenge, after all, is a tricky business, especially when Philip is distracted by a girlfriend, school bullies, self-doubt, and all the other challenges of adolescence. Even worse, Philip's father's ghost insists that his murder is his brother, Uncle Alan, the same Uncle Alan who seems to be doing so much for Philip's mother while she copes with her loss. Viewing the adult world through the eyes of a boy, The Dead Father's Club is a brilliant, quirky take on a classic tale. Next, we have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This says, England, 1580. The Black Death creeps across the land, an ominous threat, infecting the healthy, the sick, the old, and the young alike. The end of days is near, but life always goes on. A young Latin tutor, penniless and bullied by a violent father, falls in love with an extraordinary, eccentric young woman. Agnes is a wild creature who walks her family's land with a falcon on her glove and is known throughout the countryside for her unusual gifts as a healer. Understanding plants and potions better than she does people, once she settles with her husband on Henley Street in Stratford-upon-Avon, she becomes a fiercely protective mother and a steadfast centrifugal force in the life of her young husband, whose career on the London stage is just taking off, when his beloved young son succumbs to a sudden fever. Okay, next I have Ophelia's Muse by Rita Cameron. I love the cover of this. So pretty. Oh, and there's a reader's guide. Nice. So this one is with her pale, luminous skin and cloud of copper-colored hair, 19-year-old Lizzie Seedell looks nothing like the rosy-cheeked ideal of Victorian beauty. Working in London, milliner's shop, Lizzie's stitched elegant bonnets destined for wealthier, younger women until a chance meeting brings her to the attention of painter and poet Dante Gabriel Rossetti. Enchanted both by her ethereal appearance and her artistic ambitions, quite out of place for a shop girl, Rossetti draws her into his glittering world of salons and bohemian soirees. Lizzie begins to sit for some of the most celebrated members of the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, posing for John Everett, Millis as Shakespeare's Ophelia, for William Holman Hunt, and especially for Rossetti, who immortalizes her in countless paintings as his namesake's beloved Beatrice. The passionate versions Rossetti creates on canvas are echoed in their intense affair. But while Lizzie strives to establish herself as a painter and a poet in her own right, betrayal, illness, and addiction leave her struggling to save her marriage and her sense of self. And this one has some deckled edges, which, unpopular opinion, I like a good deckled edge. And finally, I have Shakespeare's Heroines, Characteristics of Women, Moral, Poetic, and Historical. Again, I love this cover. And this book is a nonfiction, and it has different sections about all the different female leads in different Shakespeare plays. So this one does have a section about Ophelia, but then it also has sections about like Henry IV, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, All's Well That Ends Well, etc. So I think for this, I'm just going to read maybe the introduction to get an idea of what this book is about, and then I'm going to read the portion about Ophelia. So there's that. So this was just a short video to share with you some books that I have found that I think reading them will enhance my listening experience as Life of a Showgirl. Obviously, I know nothing about the album except for the track titles and what some of the images look like, but based off of the vibes that we're getting and the fact that she did talk about Hamlet when she talked about the album on New Heights really gives me like clues as to like maybe I should be looking at some of this. I mean, this would be the source material, but then some of this might have some similar themes and just again might really enhance my listening experience. And also I mean I love a good themed TBR. So, if you made it to the end of this video, let me know down in the comments, are you excited for Life of a Showgirl? If you're not, that's fine. And do you have any recommendations for good Hamlet retellings? Let me know down in the comments. And if you made it to the end of this video and you don't have anything to say, leave me a fire heart emoji, because it is almost time for fire heart emoji season. And I will just see you in my next video. Bye for now.